You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. A man accused of hitting and killing a Hazleton teen last June appeared in Luzerne County Court this afternoon. Gabriel Hernandez Mendez hit 15-year-old Hector Padilla while he was riding his bicycle along South Poplar Street. Mendez fled the scene, but turned himself into police the following month. A vigil was held on Sunday to honor Hector's name and call for justice in today's sentencing. Mendez pled guilty back in March to a felony vehicular homicide charge. He was sentenced today to serve up to 2 years in Luzerne County Prison. Republican Robert Schnee was sworn in as state representative of the 116th Legislative District during a ceremony in Harrisburg earlier today. The former Luzerne County councilman ran on the Republican ticket during the special election that took place back on April 5th. Schnee, Democratic candidate Amilcar Arroyo, and Libertarian Paul Swalina ran for the seat left vacant when former state rep Tara Toohill was elected as Luzerne County judge. The retired Hazleton City Authority meter reader lives in Sugarloaf Township and ran for office to fight for the elderly, people in need, and working families. He also pledged to fight the proposed Interstate 80 tolls and work to get equitable funding for the Hazleton Area School District. He'll serve as state rep for the remainder of Toohill's term that's set to expire in November. A Hazleton man was sentenced to serve 70 months in prison on drug trafficking charges. 35-year-old Ricardo Jimenez Rodriguez previously pled guilty to possession with intent to distribute over 5 kilos of cocaine. He was pulled over while driving a tractor-trailer in Cunningham back on February 23rd of 2020. Police searching the cab of the truck found a duffel bag containing suspected cocaine and fentanyl. Jimenez Rodriguez was sentenced on April 22nd by a U.S. District Court judge. The Hazleton Mayor's Office hired a new executive assistant to help take care of day-to-day business. Christopher Pavlik took over the job formerly held by Gary Perna, who now oversees the city's recreation department. Pavlik's previous employment experience includes working for both former State Representative Tara Toohill and former Congressman Lou Barletta. Pavlik began the job on April 7th at a starting salary of $32,000 per year. He may also be appointed as Hazleton's right-to-know officer when council meets tonight at 6 in City Hall. State police are asking for the public's help locating a missing girl that was allegedly taken by her biological mother. The grandmother of 5-year-old Inez Folk told police that the girl's mother, 37-year-old Courtney Folk, took her at a ShopRite in Monroe County and fled with the child in her vehicle. Courtney's only allowed to have supervised visits and is not allowed to be alone with Inez. The child is 3'7" and weighs 40 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a blue dress and leggings with pink shoes. Folk is said to be driving a 1996 blue Chevy Lumina with PA plate LWK 0087. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is being asked to dial 911. A Shenandoah man's behind bars for allegedly vandalizing a Pottsville police cruiser. 42-year-old Oris Gilder threw bricks into the windshield of a police vehicle parked in a lot while his 9-year-old daughter was with him inside of his vehicle. He was taken into custody and his daughter was placed with Schuylkill County Children and Youth. Gilder faces charges of institutional vandalism, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. He was arraigned and taken to prison for lack of $20,000 straight cash bail. Some teachers in the Crestwood School District could be facing layoffs as a result of a budget deficit. School board members voted on a resolution last week giving notice of the possible layoffs as the district faces a $3.7 million deficit. Business manager Natasha Milazzo also presented options in an April 13th meeting for property taxes. Keeping the property tax rate the same would result in a $3.72 million deficit, while increasing to the allowed 4.2% would result in a $2.45 million deficit. The board must give a 60-day notice to teachers if they choose to follow through with layoffs, as required by law. The vote on the final budget is set for June 23rd. Columbia County, Pennsylvanians struggling with substance addiction can get help through the LETI program. Wyln's Mackenzie Ocker explains.
Attorney General Josh Shapiro announced Columbia County has joined the Law Enforcement Treatment Initiative. The program, started by Attorney Shapiro along with law enforcement, gives Pennsylvanians who are suffering from substance use disorders the opportunity to enroll in a treatment program.
We launched this LETI program back in September 2018 in Somerset County. With it, we have law enforcement connect people who need help and need treatment to local services in their communities.
Columbia County is joining the 13 counties who are already in the LETI program. Those who reside in the county can contact a member of law enforcement at any time and ask for referral or treatment without the threat of being arrested or prosecuted.
This effort, importantly, includes all law enforcement, such as the Sheriff's Department, probation and parole, not just your local police. And these offices can now be a connection for individuals who are seeking treatment to get that help without arrest. This is our 15th county that is participating in LETI, and more are coming all the time.
The program will also make sure that people have transportation to treatment facilities and maintain relationships with local treatment providers to understand the availability and collect data to study outcomes.
The Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General led a national coalition that recently secured just over $26 billion from 4 opioid companies. That is going to allow us to bring $1.1 billion back to the good people of Pennsylvania to help specifically with treatment. And it means for Columbia County an additional $2.8 million that will go right here to your county commissioners to appropriate to help those who are suffering the disease of addiction.
LETI is similar to a treatment court program to the one Columbia County has in place. Columbia County District Attorney Thomas Leipold explains what that program entails.
It provides an inducement for the individual to participate in treatment by having the opportunity to avoid prosecution. They can earn the dismissal of their criminal charges by following through what's best for them.
District attorneys in Pennsylvania who are interested in starting a PA LETI program should contact the Office of Attorney General at 570-826-2483. Reporting for Wyln News, I'm Mackenzie Ocker.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Over 120,000 pounds of ground beef products were recalled due to a possible E. coli contamination. Lakeside Refrigerated Services recalled the beef after a discovery was made during routine testing of imported products. The products were shipped to retail locations nationwide and produced from February 1st through April 8th with establishment number 46841 inside the USDA mark of inspection. The USDA is worried that some of the recalled products may be in consumers' refrigerators or freezers. Those who have purchased these products should not consume them, but instead throw them away or return them. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton will be hosting a Drop the Drugs Off event in May. People can drop off any unused and expired prescription drugs at the Drop the Drugs mobile unit that'll be located at the hospital's main entrance from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, May 4th. It's a safe and secure way to dispose of the drugs to help keep them out of the wrong hands. Plus, dropping off the drugs is easy. Just look for the marked van at the main entrance, drive by, hand your prescriptions to the officer, and be on your way. LVHN's a proud sponsor of the Drop the Drugs Van initiative in Hazleton. Coming up on Wyln News, additional funding for the site of a former hotel in Wilkes-Barre, plus more on Elon Musk's latest purchase. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Charlie. I am 8, and the forecast for tomorrow is partly cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
We're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck. Jura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazelton, 570-454-7229.
Penn State Hazelton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
See news happening in your neighborhood? Call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network. Go hog wild for Iron Pigs baseball. WYLN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs live. America's favorite pastime on your local network, WYLN TV 35. See the stars of tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WYLN TV 35. Visit WYLNTV.com for a complete Iron Pigs schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WYLN, your home for live sports.
The state awarded another $2 million toward the proposed project for the former Hotel Sterling site in Wilkes-Barre. The third Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program grant was announced last week for the 110-room Hyatt Place Hotel and Conference Center. The first RACP grant for $2 million was awarded back in July of 2019, followed by a $2.5 million grant in December of 2020. The project was initially estimated to cost $28 million and be built with mostly private funding, but the numbers have reportedly increased 25% as a result of the pandemic. The Department of Agriculture provided an update on the highly pathogenic avian influenza affecting Pennsylvania's $7.1 billion poultry industry. Pennsylvanians are being assured that chicken and other poultry products remain safe to eat if stored and cooked at proper temperatures. According to the CDC, these avian influenza detections do not present an immediate public health concern, and no human cases have been detected in the U.S. The chance of infected poultry entering the food chain is extremely low due to the high frequency of testing in facilities. The world's richest man reached an agreement on Monday to buy Twitter for roughly $44 billion. Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who boasts more than 83 million followers on Twitter, said he wanted to own and privatize Twitter because he thinks it's not living up to its potential as a platform for free speech. The 50-year-old said in a joint statement with Twitter that he wants to make the service, quote, better than ever, with new features, such as getting rid of automated spam accounts and making its algorithms open to the public to increase trust. Twitter said the transaction was unanimously approved by its board of directors and is expected to close this year, pending regulatory sign-off and shareholder approval. Coming up on West Hazelton's News Choice, we learn about PSP's upcoming drug take-back event on this Trooper Talk Tuesday, plus Leading the Way, Part 2. And stay with us for everything else we have lined up for you later tonight on WYLN TV.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Join us later for Let's Talk Chiropractic, where we talk about how treating Chris led to discovery of what's going on with his wife and led to the incredible recovery we've been seeing for the last few weeks. Join us later.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Did you know that WYLN News provides news updates every weekday afternoon
At 1, 3, and 5 here on TV and on social media?
Did you also know you can watch WYLN News on the go by visiting our website or YouTube page?
Now more than ever,
WYLN is your local news leader. Welcome to Trooper Talk Tuesday. With me, of course, is Trooper Anthony Petrosky from Troop in Hazleton. And there is a very important event coming up on Saturday.
Yes.
What is it?
It's National Drug Take Back Day.
National.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what that means is it's a responsible way to dispose of any unused medication, or people don't want to flush them down the toilet. They don't know what to do with them. There's a good way they could dispose of them. And boxes will be set up at police stations. Every state police barracks, the headquarters for each county. So for Luzerne County, it would be PSP Wyoming.
Oh.
I'm sorry, PSP Wilkes-Barre.
Mm-hmm.
So the box will be in the lobby. You can walk in, put your unused medications in the box, and then leave.
And there may be some people who are watching saying, what's the big deal? If I throw them out, if I flush them, what can happen?
Yeah, so one big thing about if you throw them out, you don't necessarily know where they're going to end up. You know, you put them in the garbage, but sometimes the garbage gets knocked over from an animal or the wind or something. They could be laying on the side of the road, laying on a sidewalk. A child can see that and decide that they're going to take it. They might think it's candy or something like that. So just to be on the safe side, this is a responsible way to dispose of medications.
And again, when you're talking about that, it's spring cleaning time.
Sure.
So there could be folks who are going through their medicine cabinet and getting rid of different things. What's the problem then? If medications are maybe expired, do they still work? Are they still dangerous?
Well, just because they're expired doesn't mean they don't still have the ingredients inside to be able to cause harm to somebody if they don't need to be on that medication. So again, This is a good way of people to responsibly dispose of their medications. Once a box is filled, the bag gets sealed, it gets taped off, and the DEA ends up taking it and they dispose of it. They put it in an incinerator. They get rid of it the proper way. So you don't have to worry about it. Keep them in your medicine cabinet, flush them, worry about them getting into the ecosystem. You know, we want to be earth friendly here. Again, it's just a responsible way. There's no questions asked. We don't take any illegal drugs. We don't take any syringes. So none of these drug take-back boxes are going to take any syringes. Other than that, pills, things like that, you could bring in, no questions asked.
And when you do bring in pills or anything like that, do they have to be out of the container? Do you have to scrape your name off the container? How does that work?
It's better to just put them in a Ziploc bag and then you dispose of the container with your personal information on name, address, things like that. We don't need that. So just put them in a bag and dump them right in. It's no problem.
And the other thing is, you mentioned the fact of liquids, because sometimes kids might have a something and the doctor gives them a prescription.
Right.
You have it in the refrigerator, you forget about it.
Right.
So is putting it, and I guess maybe this is a tough question to answer because everything might be different, is putting it down the drain or flushing it, is that considered a way to get rid of liquids?
You know, it's tough to say. I mean, I'm a cop for a reason.
Right.
I know being a cop. I don't know other things. So I'm not 100% sure on that. But, you know, if there's any doubt, bring them. There's always going to be somebody there that's with this box that's helping you out, answering any questions. And if they see that you're putting something there that you can't, they'll simply tell you, hey, we're not accepting that. And hopefully they'll give you an answer on how to properly dispose of that.
Because I've read a lot of times about that some communities will say okay, but it's always best to check before you go.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's a lot of police stations that have these boxes all year round. The one at Pennsylvania State Police Wilkes-Barre headquarters, that's there year round. There's one in Hazleton City, in City Hall, that's there all year round. So, you know, even though there's this event on Saturday, it doesn't mean that you have to wait until then or any other time throughout the year. You don't have to wait for one of these events. You could go and dispose of it, again, properly and no questions asked.
How about pharmacies? They also have?
I believe so. Yeah. I believe pharmacies do. I'm not sure how often they have it, but you know they would be able to tell you if they don't where you can properly dispose of these.
All right. So Saturday, April 30th, Drug Take Back Day, national event. So you're not alone in this, and it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do. You don't have to worry about where are these pills going to end up. They're going to be in the right hands. They're going to be disposed of properly and responsibly.
All right. Trooper Anthony Petrosky, Troop in Hazleton, will be back with us again on Trooper Talk Tuesday.
Abby is still perfecting her sidekick, and her jab is just for show. But for Abby, this is a remarkable day, because Abby recently defeated a real foe, cancer, when she partnered with Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital, a children's hospital close to home with more than 30 pediatric specialties. Take a bow, Abby. You deserve it. Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital. Your health deserves a partner.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the midday WYLN News update, posted between noon and 2 p.m. Tomorrow's care starts today with Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, your ER partner.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department, only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
TJ's Chimney Service professional and complete chimney service, cleans, rebuilds, stainless steel liners, custom concrete poured chimney crowns, fully licensed and insured, all work guaranteed. Roofing services also available. Call 570-861-0027. Attention WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier. channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at 647 State Route 93, Sugarloaf, Pennsylvania 18249 during regular business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, our own Chris Fulmer is leading the way again into part 2 of this week's series.
And welcome back to this week's Leading the Way with Chris Fulmer. So, working in television, what was it like to first, get into TV and to work with TV, and then on top of it, I guess, what was it like the first moment that you got to be on TV?
Well, I was hired in the summer of 2005. Since I got it through the AHEAD program, their advisor, Mrs. Kathy Couch, came up with me. It was a bit comical at first since we couldn't find Master Control's light switch at first when we first came in, but after that, the day went pretty smoothly. I am eternally grateful to our esteemed colleague Jeff Bonomo for giving me the chance to be on Off the Beaten Path after he noticed some of my trip photos. I should add that with autism, being on vacation is a little harder being outside of the established areas, although I have gotten better with that over time, so being able to travel as much and profile these places, which I hope does increase their profile and profits for them, does give me a feeling of accomplishment that I am doing some good in the world, which is what I'm somewhat desperate to do, to know that I have done well.
Yeah.
When I first saw myself on TV, it was a bit of pride to know that I was taking such a big step, and there's still somewhat of that feeling today with each new segment I am on the air. Now, working in Master Control, I should say that you find over the years that everything that can go wrong will go wrong at some point or another. It's how you work around it that was that which I try to do to the best of my abilities. And I think for the most part I do, and the staff is glad that I try.
All right. All right, folks, check back tomorrow night as Chris continues leading the way into part 3 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.